Hello everyone, welcome to eGate.ai. In this video, first let's talk about goal-based agents. So let's consider an example. Suppose you are a self-driving car, okay, and you are at a junction. You can go to the left, you can go to the right, or you can go to the straight. So how this agent will decide in which direction it has to go, right? So only current percept is not enough for this agent, right? It has to make decision based on the goal, right? So if the goal is to reach a destination which comes to the right of this junction, it will take this route, right? Otherwise it will take other routes. So every agent needs to have some goal, and based on the goal it will take a sequence of actions, right, so that it can achieve that goal. So to decide which actions it should take to reach the goal is the topic of discussion for the coming videos. All remaining part of the AI course will be mostly focusing on the search and planning part. So let's try to understand goal-based agents with the diagram. This is the block diagram of goal-based agents. You can see that this is the internal state that we were talking about in model-based reflex agents. And here you can see that there is one extra field which is like what it will be like if I do action, right? Because you need to know whether by doing a certain action you are being closer to your goal or not, right? Because if you are doing some action, it should always ensure that it is one step closer to the goal, right? So that's why based on the model information you can see that what will be the word if I do a certain action, and you will have goals information, and based on these two you can decide which actions the agent has to take, right? So these goals are different than condition action rule, because in condition action rules there was just if else conditions which are not very practical in real world, right? Because your goal can be drive to the Delhi or drive to the Mumbai, right? It can be anything, right? So this is very flexible. Suppose if you want to add a new destination, if you want to add Jaipur in your goal, you can just simply mention Jaipur, right? Based on the description of your goal, the agent will decide which actions it has to take so that it can reach to the goal, right? So even though goal-based agent sounds very nice because agents can achieve its goal, but there is one catch here, that we are not talking about the performance of the agent, right? So agent will take some sequence of actions to achieve the goal, but we have to see which actions are good or which actions are bad. For example, suppose if you want to go from New Delhi to Jaipur, you can reach to the destination by multiple ways, right? But what is the best way to reach to that destination, right? So there can be many factors like how fast you can reach there or how safely you can reach to the destination. So these things you have to take into consideration, that we call as utility, right? We can have a measure for agents, and we can ensure that the agents is always trying to maximize its utility, right? So please do not get confused with the performance measure. Performance measures evaluates the states of the environment, right? So this brings us to a new agent which is utility based agents. So this is the block diagram of utility based agents. It has the internal state as we were talking about. So this is actually utility based model reflex agent, and this part is same as the goal based agent, like what is the current world right now and what will happen if agent will take certain actions. Now it will also measure utility, right? And then it will decide what actions it has to take, right? So this utility ensures that you are reaching closer to the goal as well as you are taking the best possible actions, so that the agent will be happy in that state because it took the best action and now it's closer to the goal, right? And then based on that it will decide which action it has to take, and it will take that action, right? So as I was mentioning that this utility function is the internal to the agent, and the performance measure is the external measure of the environment state, right? So we can say that if both are in agreement, right, if the action that agent is taking at a time and the environmental state that was expected, both are in agreement, then we can say that this agent is behaving rational based on the external performance measure, right? So one thing to note here is that the environment is partially observable and is stochastic. So you cannot be sure that what actions it has to take all the time, right? So that's why you measure expected utility instead of absolute utility, right? So the agents will take the actions that will maximize its expected utility. So this is very important. That is why I have written it down, because these are the kinds of agent that we want to build. We know that environment will be partially observable and stochastic and very dynamic. So agent will have to ensure that they are taking the actions which are maximizing the expected utility. So there is one more kind of agent which we call learning agent, which will have a learning component so that it can have a feedback system, and based on the feedback system, learning agent can learn and it can evolve with time, right? So we will end the discussion of agent with this video. We will solve some questions so that you will have a better understanding of agents. Thank you so much.